Paris, chérie, mon beau Paris, say to...
Hello and welcome to Paris Set Me Free mini photo tutorials. This, as you can imagine, is in the Paris metro. This was my client for the day, and we were wandering around from one place to another on our way to, I don't know, Montmartre or Palais Royal or Père Lachaise or something. Can't quite remember. And as I recommend, have your camera ready at all times, and the Paris metro, inside the Paris metro is no exception, within certain boundaries of what you can take and how much you should flash your camera around. A lot of the Paris metro involves walking around tunnels, and some of them are quite intricate and long and actually sinister, as you can see here. What can you do with this shot? If I took this shot, this isn't the one I used, it would end up not being particularly fantastic because it doesn't emphasize what's there. What is there is this sense of foreboding, these long tunnels with these lines going into the distance, giving you lovely perspective on a wide-angle lens, with these sinister doors which open up and swallow you, and there's posters which are often very strange. You can get some funny juxtapositions of people and posters and so on, and the lighting is also sometimes lends itself to dramatic pictures. I'll just show you some of the ones that I took. I took a series of 4 in this little section. You should be shooting away. If you see something you think might be good, shoot away, because if one out of 4 is going to be good and you only take 1, then there's only a, I don't know what, 25% chance you're going to get it right. No, that's not right. But anyway, if one out of 4 is going to be good and you take 4, then you've got the good one. But if you only took 1, so here was 1. But this she's too much of a person, you know. You can see who it is. You can see the face. You can see she's got a camera, so she's a photographer. You know, it's just not enigmatic enough. Here's the next one. That's a bit better. You can't see she's a photographer. There's a rather strange angle to it, which immediately gives it a certain unreal feeling to the shot. And look, these angles are starting to look a bit more impressive there. They're coming out there. The top of the poster adds to that as well. Vroom, zooming out, down there. Quite getting a bit dramatic there. Here's another one. She's going away into the distance. And then there's the last one that I took. So, out of these ones, this one, this one, this one, and this one, which do you think I chose? Well, you've probably already seen it. It's this one. It's the one where she's just going out of the door. Now, some of the angles here, they're not... This isn't at an angle. I often throw angles in. If you look at some of these other shots here, in fact all the other 3, I've made this slightly off vertical, and in this one to try and give it a stranger feeling. This is actually the only one in which I kept the camera straight ahead without tilting it, and that's the one I used in the end. You can see the difference. Compare what's happened. The only way I've cropped it really is by chopping a bit off the top here. I played around with cropping it, but I decided no. She's pretty much right in the middle, which could be a weaker composition, but I decided I liked it like that. It wasn't so much that I liked it like that, it's that I didn't want to lose any of either side. I liked the fact that these dramatic lines going into the picture like this, and the top there as well, and the way it shades off, it goes into shadow here slightly. And I didn't want to cut any of the bottom because this is a lovely murky, rusty, browny step here, which I liked, and it's fully put into effect in the final picture, as you can see. Very, very sinister looking end of millennium sort of tension stuff in some of those films, if you know the sort of film I'm talking about, where the city's been destroyed and everyone's living underground. That's what it makes me think of anyway. So by exaggerating some of the characteristics of this photograph, I've gone for that feel. I've gone for this grainy, murky, sinister look emphasized by these strong lines and these harsh white medical walls next to this really grotty step, and all of this accentuated and emphasized by the fact that this human being who is dressed in red is being swallowed up by almost a machine. The doors open, just letting a slit of human light through, although it's still a sinister red light, which goes with her top. They open up, she steps through, and shong, she's swallowed again into another part of the machine, another part of the bowels of the beast called the Paris Metro. So I enjoyed imagining this scenario, and I tried to use effects. To be honest, they're pretty much the same effects I always use, but that's my style. But they're to give the photograph another element, another dimension, and to do what any of these films that this reminds me of do. When you see those sort of films, which have created a certain feeling, a certain atmosphere, it's not by chance. They've used exactly the same techniques as you can, using any of the reasonable image processing packages to do that. You just play around with the contrast and the colours and saturations and so on. So there's my sinister Paris Metro swallowing young girl photograph for this time. Have your camera ready, even during boring things like waiting for a train, and you'll be amazed at the sort of stuff you can get. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. See a high quality version of this on the blog at parissetmefree.blogspot.com, and see you next time. Bye bye.
Depuis que je suis à Paris, le jour et la nuit, je suis gris. J'ai compris la douceur de vivre. Je suis fou de joie, je suis ivre. Depuis que je suis à Paris.